Hello, welcome back. On the last episode, we finally got the rules on the premise of this death game. It's a race, first few people to cross the finish line on the same turn, survive with their necklaces automatically unlocking, and whoever does not instantly dies. So there are other minor sort of, I would say, trinkets really of information. Well, the trinkets was definitely used, but definitely other bits of information that can hopefully help our situation. Yes, it was also hinted that we could always escape, yet I don't believe we will, because I believe that we will betray each other and descend into chaos. Right now, I guess we're going to talk about our abilities as the animals that we are. Surely our time would be better spent discussing the abilities we each possess. That's an excellent point, Monkey. We ought to start talking about that. In fact, I'll start. My ability is called Sneaky Ride. It allows me to choose an animal, and then later, when that animal moves, I move the same number of spaces. A reference to the original Fable, and no doubt. Thank you, Snake. That's pretty handy. That's a pretty handy ability. So yeah, we're pretty powerful, I guess. That does put a target on our back, and we do move first as well, I guess. But it's kind of dependent on other people. That's why it's so handy. It's a perfect example of mirrored play. Mirrored play? It's a concept that comes up a lot in a lot of places, though most frequently in gambling. I forgot, Dog runs a bar, so I guess he would know a bit about this. Just as an example, let's say you and Rooster had a little bet going. You two are at a casino, and you were competing to see who could win the most money at a roulette table in an hour. Ha! I'm down. Rooster, this is just an example. I mean, I know Rooster's famous, but it's kind of hinting that he's an idiot. Then again, it didn't take much to hint out of that. Now let's say with 15 minutes left, Mouse, you've got 45 chips and Rooster has 30 chips. What? I ruled out roulette. Why would I be losing? Like Mouse said, it's a hypothetical. Well, your hypothetical sucks if it involves me losing. Okay, Rooster needs to get off the metaphorical high horse. Fine. You're at 45 and she's at 30. Happy? Yes, that fits much better. Great, now let's say Mouse bets all 30 of her chips on black. What should you do? Easy, I'd bet 45 chips on red. Why? Because I'm not to be outdone, and red's my lucky colour. You sound like you'd be fun to gamble with? But no. The right choice would be to also bet 30 on black. If the roulette ends up on red, she'd be out and you'd be left with 15. Whereas if the roulette ends up on black, you'd still be leading 90 chips to 60. Yeah, but if you bet 45 on red and it winds up being red, you'd be you'd just have 90 and Stupid Mouse would have nothing. You're calling us stupid? I am hurt, Rooster. I genuinely. Like, he's just insulting us for no reason. You realize that in the context of the bet, it doesn't matter if you will by 90 or if you win by. I'm assuming that meant win. If you win by 90, if you win by 15, right? Maybe if you're playing a coward's game. Okay, well, I think Rooster's not going to get it, but I hope overall my point is clear. Thank you, Dog. It is very clear. Rooster is just an idiot. We should ignore him. But then again, calling him an idiot might backfire. Mirrored play refers to the strategy where if you're in the lead, sometimes your best bet is just to copy what your opponent does. That way, they'll never be able to catch up to you. In the context of the race, if Mouse only had one opponent, she would be and she was in the lead. This ability would guarantee her victory. Of course, the issue with the strategy, both here and elsewhere, is that other people exist. It's not like you can copy all 11 people's moves. But if you knew who would move the most spaces each turn, you can guarantee a joint win at least. I see what you mean. Still, I don't know how helpful it would be for getting all 12-way joint win. That's what we need. I don't think my ability is going to be any. Are we going in order? Mouse, ox, tiger, rabbit, etc., etc. I got this thing called Stampede. Basically, it allows me to move to the space behind the animal currently in first place. That doesn't sound that bad if you're way behind. That could move you way up further. Sure, but it never lets me actually take the lead. Plus, thanks to the movement order, it'll always work out so that after I stampede, the person in first will always be able to move again. My ability is super cool. It's called Dive. Lets me instantly move to the nearest river. With that, you could take an early lead and move 8 spaces. 8 spaces forward on the first turn. That's that would get you a few spaces more than you could get to the second one, but after that it's useless. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be that the most consistent ability. After all, it's the closest river. Yeah, I'll need to move forward a bit before I can use it again if I don't want to jump back into the first river. After I pass the second river, it's completely useless. Yeah, so So your goal is to make it lead as fast as possible, and then to continue moving. Anyway, at least your ability is consistent. Mine's called Lucky Bounce. It moves my animal either 1, 2, or 3 spaces forward at random. I mean, that's actually pretty useful because you could just Lucky Bounce each turn. At worst, you get a string of 1s. Moderately, you can make it there in all 12 rounds if you keep getting 2s, and if you keep getting 3s, you'll make it there, presumably in 2/3 of the time. At random. That's odd. Why? Well, the other abilities seem consistent. It's not design choice to add a single piece of randomness. Well, yeah. I think it's probably based on the idea of a lucky rabbit's foot. I don't think you're going to be that lucky. I feel like, if anything, you're going to lose a foot, and it's going to work against you. It's pretty useless, though. My ability's pretty kick-ass. At least this Jade freak had a good sense to let me mess things up. I've got a Dragon's Breath. I can choose any lane to breathe fire on. At the end of the turn, if anyone on that lane gets burned, and they won't be able to move for another 3 turns. An offensive, so everyone else is just movement. Yours is attacking. Yours is to hinder other people. Won't be able to move, huh? So that means abilities don't involve you. So that means abilities that don't involve you moving would still be active. Seems like it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what about Actually, no, yeah, it wouldn't be moving, so you couldn't even use items. Because well, at least the minor items, because the minor items said that you move based on how many people are using them. That might be useful if someone tries to rush to first place, or if Dragon wants to rush to first place. Oh, quit your whining, will you? I know I might have come across bad, but I'm not some scum who'd sacrifice others to save herself. Thank you, Dragon. I like that sad sprite you had, because it felt sincere. I trust it. I was just, angry at the fact that I was kidnapped and put in this situation. That's alright, Dragon. We forgive you. Yo, I'm not apologizing for anything. Just get that through your head. I'm just saying, I'm not looking to kill anyone today. I believe you. At this current moment in time, I believe you do not have the intention to hurt anyone. I think this game will have multiple endings where at least everyone kills one person. Well, we'll leave it at that then. Snake, what about you? My turn to divulge my ability, yes. I believe it would be prudent for me not to say it at this moment. What? Snake, are you serious right now? I ask that you trust me when I say I doubt it would be of much use in this situation. That's not the point, Snake. We all agreed to share our abilities. Oh, did we? We didn't really agree, we just said let's talk about them. As a matter of fact, I don't believe anyone said that, merely that we should all check them out and reconvene. Snake and I are on the same page. But either way, I don't hide my ability for no good reason. While I would love for everyone to work together and get out smoothly, I somehow doubt the Jade Emperor would go through all this if it would be simple. There's a real chance that we'll end up having some among us who betray the group's trust and attempt to win alone. In that case, my ability may be a last-minute tool to prevent such a scenario. Okay, so your defensive dragon is offensive. That's what you're claiming. However, I must admit my ability is highly conditional. If a potential betrayer knew it ahead of time, they'd easily be able to counteract it. Therefore, for the sake of the group, I believe it best to keep this ability to myself until further notice. Okay, understandable. You could be lying, but I actually trust you the most because I guess snakes and rats stick together, even though predator and prey. Well, it makes sense, I guess. You make a convincing argument, I must admit. I don't like it. Me neither. How do we know anything this guy just said is even true? Look, if I really had nefarious intentions, I could simply make up an ability and not much use to claim it as my own. Does the fact that I'm outwardly withholding my ability not in itself imply I am trustworthy? I'd say so. Seems like some backward logic to me, but whatever floats your boat. Whatever. We don't have time to go back and forth like this. We can't start doubting each other this early. It's true. We're only in the first round. We don't know how long has passed time-wise. I'm assuming like 5 minutes at most. Gives it 40 minutes left. If Snake says he has a good reason for withholding his ability, I'm going to trust him. Thank you. I appreciate it, Mouse. No, your trust is not misplaced. Yeah, I trust him as well. Well, if that's settled, should I go next? Yeah, go ahead. I've got a move called Steady Gallop. It lets me move 3 spaces. And that's it. That's it. So I guess it's just a better run then. It's simple, I like it. Okay. Would you look at that, Bunny? The PS Horse has simply got a better version of your ability. Yeah, I guess that you're right. How unfair is that? Who's balancing this thing? I don't know, maybe there's a situation where it's better if your movement is to be random. I struggle to think. I mean, it would be beneficial for example, the dragon could use her ability on lane 3 and then that way Horse can't use their ability, and that means Rabbit could. It's only a 1 in 3rd chance that he would land on the 3rd lane and be immobilized. I struggle to think of such a situation. I don't know if my ability is any good. It's called Sweet Sleep. It does nothing on its own, but it lets me make 2 extra actions, so 3 in total. Not just a bonus 1, it's an extra 2. Key wording is key. So if she says she only does 1 extra action, she could be hiding it from the rest of us. Hey, that could be good. It's not exactly a very fast-paced or flashy ability, though. My ability is conditional, however. I find that it may be of use to the group. It's called Monkey See, Monkey Do. It allows me to use my ability. It allows me to use any of the abilities used last turn as if it were my own. That is pretty powerful. You could link. You and Rat could link up with someone, and then all 3 of you could make it. So basically, you've got you get to use anyone's ability. That's like wicked busted, man. That's an ability fit for a main character, not some supporting role. Am I merely a supporting role? You're a therapist. You support people. That's your role. He does have logic with that. I have to admit that does hold some water, at least. I don't know if that's actually all that powerful. I mean, don't get me wrong, in the right context it would be great, but it's only ever going to be useful if other people are using their abilities. You can never fire the first shot, as you will. Instead, you're entirely dependent on the actions of others. But if things get to that point where most people are using their abilities frequently, she'll be in a powerful position. I guess it's a good thing that you're a lady of peace. Hopefully it won't get to that point. Alright, let's get to my ability already. And man, you guys are going to love this. Seriously. You better start kissing my behind now, trying to win me over. Just get on with it. It's called Encouraging Crow. It moves any other animal 4 spaces forward. Okay, so 4 spaces, huh? That's pretty good. Yeah, so but you can't use it on yourself, right? Only other people. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, well, I imagine people will be begging for me to give them this blessing. Seems like out of anyone, you're the most supporting role in this. Any of this. Well, that's the thing. First round goes by. Rooster could pick one person with their ability. Round 2 comes by. Monkey uses their ability to copy Rooster. It's because you said Encouraging Crow. And then they both pick 2 people. And then they Monkey keeps copying Rooster, and Rooster keeps using his ability. And then they can keep pushing everyone else. Because Monkey couldn't push Rooster forward. So Rooster keeps getting payment for his kindness, I guess. And it makes sure that people don't because four moves, it means you could get to the end in 6 rounds, right? And that would be that would give people time to figure out how to mathematically get their way across the finish line. So that's useful. Well, you know what they say: if you shine the brightest, you only shine slightly brighter than everyone else. How humble of this man. Anyway, I do feel like Rooster's gotten a powerful or useful for a cooperative situation. Useful ability. We don't have time to try and deconstructing. We don't have any time to try deconstructing that. Dog, will you tell us your ability? Sure thing. Not much of anything. It's called Rabbit Leap. I jump over the closest person in front of me, and by jumping, I basically mirror my position in a relationship to theirs. Like if someone was 1 space in front of me, I'd move 2. But if someone was 3 spaces in front of me, I'd move 6. That ability is not great unless I'm really far behind. But then again, since I come almost last in every move order, it's basically a guaranteed 2 spaces at least. Yeah, fair enough. Let me get there by the end of it. That's alright, then I should get to see what I can do. Sure thing, go ahead. Okay, Pig, what have you got? Okay, my ability is called Loser's Desperation, and for some reason, it's not a very good name. But it is a good ability. I can move 1 space for every person ahead of me. So if you're in last place, you get to move 11 spaces. Which means I can catch up if I'm far behind. Actually, considering that you come last in the animal movements, that's not improbable. It's not improbable that you should use it to move 11 spaces. Maybe, but even if I got the lead like that, I can't do anything when I'm ahead. I mean, you can keep moving forward at least, let everyone else catch up. It's worse than just running when I'm in first. So that's everyone's ability. And what was the point of that exactly? I felt like I was in class or something. Well, we are in a school, so that would make sense. It gave us peace of mind and a greater perspective. True, but I don't know if it answered the question of what we should do now. We'll need to cross the finish line at the same time, right? It's simple then. Let us all promise to run every turn. That way, we'll move the same rate and... No, because there's 24 spaces, only 12 rounds, so I only guess halfway. Moron, weren't you listening to the damn rules? We've only got 12 turns to get across, and there's 24 spaces to move. If we ran each time, we'd only get there halfway. Thank you, Dragon. So that's it then. We're screwed. Well, not really, because again, you could do the crow. Like turn 1 goes. Crow boosts anyone except pig or dog, because then dog can do his ability. He moves 2 spaces forward. That at least gets him 1 turn. Then pig can move 11 spaces forward. Then no one boosts pig. Pig just runs for the rest of the game. Basically, then ox can stampede. Rat can link to pig. That would only get them 10 spaces though, because obviously rat hadn't moved yet. Everyone moves 1 except dog, who moves 2. Well, actually no. People can use their abilities, and then people abilities should be encouraged. It's only in the last leg where people should actually consider to stop moving. Calm down, everyone. I'm sure we can come to some sort of solution here. We have a lot of abilities at our disposal. Maybe we can work something out. Curses. We're really being undone by this stupid game. Who on earth put us through something like this childish? Actually, I think I might know who the Jade Emperor is. Excuse me, monkey? For real? Seriously, you're not messing with us, are you? I mean, she doesn't seem like the type who would. So it seems I was not the one to know. Okay, so Snake, yes, Snake did say it was him. Snake, you knew too. Why didn't you say anything else? He did. What good would it do? What good? I think I've got a goddamn right to know who's putting us through. Yeah, I'd like to know who's killing me, basically. I don't think about it. I don't think talking about it is wise. Well, at this point, I think we're all going to be damned. We're going to demand to know. Monkey, who do you think it is? To be clear, I'm not certain. Okay, I guess that's a safety net, saying this is just my thought, because like then people don't get hung up on the idea saying this is this person. However, there's a piece of evidence that strongly leads to this conclusion, that being the tattoo, right? As some of you might have noticed, the Jade Emperor had what looked like the part of a butterfly tattoo exposed on his hand. Okay, so you know someone who has that. Monkey was right, I've seen it too. There's someone I know with a butterfly tattoo there on his body, and that person is disturbed. Someone I've warned about, a patient of mine. So previous patient, Brian Morris. Is that an anagram? Okay, I feel like they would be an alias of some kind. Brian Morris. Morris. That last name. No. His mother brought him to me. She asked me to try and help him control his violent streak. Okay, so you failed, by the looks of it. Ever since his father was executed, he had been struggling. So his father's the person we were talking about, or he was talking about. I swear, I tried everything I knew to try and help him, but it would only make him angrier. Are you crying? Oh, you're using the... Oh, I didn't know you had crying sprites. That's unfortunate. Recently, he even stopped coming to sessions. I told his mother about this. I warned her that her son might be some serious issue. It might have some serious issues, but I never thought it'd amount to something like this. Marissa. Now things are starting to come together. Okay, so everyone knows the last name. Falsely executed. No, this can't be the same guy. Yo, what the hell are you people talking about? You all know this punk? What's going? Okay, so Dragon is in dark with all of us, same as the player, us. Whereas even Mouse knows who this is, but we do not. Brian Morris, the son of Aaron Morris, son of a man arrested and executed for the cold-blooded murder of his employer, Amadeus Bowen. Amadeus Bowen was a huge deal. He was the CEO of a major entertainment company. Not many people were more important in our city than the chief of police, Oliver Bowen, but his brother Amadeus was one of them. His murder shocked the community over national news. A heroic and beloved public figure had been murdered in his own office. Aaron Morris was arrested the next day. The man claimed to be innocent. He was innocent. He swore it across his heart and hoped to die. Well, poor choice of words, because he did die apparently. The case against him told a different story. Bowen's body was hidden in his personal safe, so discovering it took longer than expected. But once it was found, the time of his death was quickly determined. It wasn't an exact time, but it gave a reasonable range. The only person to have entered the victim's office during that time frame was Morris, as numerous eyewitnesses could attest. And Bowen's death wasn't something that could have been done remotely. He was strangled, bludgeoned to death. Wait, he was strangled and bludgeoned to death? Or, because I would imagine you can only be strangled and bludgeoned, then stuffed in the safe. There also wasn't any secret entrance to the office, nor was it possible for someone to have been hiding in the office the whole time. It wasn't. If that wasn't proof enough, the weapon used to bludgeon Bowen was found disposed in a river. It has been deposited in a river awfully close to Morris's house. Also, while much of the money that had been taken from Bowen's safe was never recovered, a stack of bills with Bowen's fingerprints was found in the glove compartment of Morris's car. Speaking of fingerprints, Morris was recovered on the inside of the safe, a place Morris had no place looking. Morris was recovered on the inside of the safe, a place Morris had no place. Okay. More and more evidence kept coming out and stacking up against Morris. All this evidence, and yet my father decided to defend him in court. Okay, so that's how we're related to this case. We are the daughter of a defense attorney, Phoenix Wright, clearly. My father legitimately believed in Morris's innocence. He began to prepare his defense based on the fact that the footage from the security cameras in the building had been erased. Digital logs showed that someone used Bowen's MasterCard to enter the security room and tamper with the technology before Morris ever met Bowen. The defense came crumbling down when it was revealed that the night before the murder, Bowen and Morris had gone to a drinking bar. Okay, that would explain. Why would they go to a drinking bar together if they were going to kill each other? Well, one was going to kill the other. Why not do it then? You know, get the other one drunk, then they can kind of cooperate with the murder if they're of their own death. The bartender testified at some point that Bowen dropped his wallet on the floor. Oh, is that who Dog is? Is Dog that bartender? After the two left, Morris came back in to return the wallet to Bowen. The next morning, Bowen's secretary testified that Bowen's MasterCard was missing from his wallet. How would the secretary know? Okay, so it's an entertainment thing. If it's an entertainment company, that's how we know Rooster's involved. Therapist obviously is linked to Brian. We're connected to the defense attorney. Dog is most likely the bartender. Secretary could have been Sheep, because Sheep did say she left to become a librarian. Who else? I don't think Dragon could be a secretary, because usually that the stereotype that the secretary does not care, and yeah. So that seems to be at least a few of us that's connected. The police determined that the bar trip was only the only reasonable time that the MasterCard could have been taken, except by the secretary. The biggest point of my father's defense suddenly turned into a damning story for the prosecution. Is that what Ox is? Because Ox, I feel like Ox is a lawyer. Well, yeah, so the prosecution. And that like links 5 of us. Don't know who Tiger, Horse, Snake, Horse could be a police officer. I can see that. Pig knows about coding, so maybe they know the security camera was erased. Yeah, that's like, I think that's all of them, except Tiger. Well, Tiger, Dragon, and Snake. I don't know how to link these into this story. But yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll finish this flashback then. I'll call it. He argued every possible point of uncertainty, hammered about it until it was hammered on about how it was all circumstantial, and pleaded the jury to understand the meaning of reasonable doubt. But in the end, it wasn't enough. Morris was found guilty, and the judge gave him the death penalty due to the complete lack of remorse. Well, that's... Ooh. Is one of us the judge? My father died of an illness a few years, okay, around the time Morris was finally executed. He said he lived a good life, on the whole, a life he was proud of. But in hospital bed, he mentioned that to me that one of his few regrets is being unable to save Aaron Morris. In the end, despite the overwhelming flood of evidence to the contrary of my father still believed in his client, like a good lawyer should. And now his son Brian, who should have been a senior in high school, was going out of his way to take revenge, to avenge his father. Okay, so we got an age of Brian. That is what it was. Oh, that's what this was? But yeah. With that, I guess I'm calling it there. So, thank you again for sticking through this. See you on the next one. Goodbye.